Howdy folks, Bill Snerd here on the Movie Shack. This is the Movie Shack. Well, this is the show. It's not really a shack. You know? Okay, so last time we took an epic journey into the future in the world of science fiction as represented by the Micronauts, and it was amazing. This time we go into deeper, darker, older territory, deep into the fictional past with a fantasy adventure. That it's actually called a fantasy. Now that's the title. The title of the show that we're going to see today is, and I quote, a fantasy adventure. It's not like, you know, quest for treasure or anything. It's just, yeah. So before we get into it, I do need to explain a few things because otherwise you're going to be ridiculously confused by this whole thing. Okay, you have to understand when this was done. This was originally made in 1984. Sean was 12 years old, and the previous year and much of that year, he was obsessed with a video game called Dragon's Lair. Now, the Dragon's Lair was the first, well, one of the first games to utilize a Laserdisc, which basically meant it could spool actual video into the game, sort of. Well, the video sort of was the game. So basically, in Dragon's Lair, you would control a knight on a quest in a castle to save a princess from the clutches of an evil dragon. So the way it would work is you would see a piece of animation at the start of a scene, and you would have to quickly determine what was going on in the scene, and if anything in that moment posed a threat to the hero. So, if there was a threat to the hero, say there's a monster on the left side of the screen. That's the right side of the screen. Anyway, a monster on the side of the screen. So, what do? Do you move away, or do you pull out your sword and slash at the monster? Well, here's the thing. There was only ever one correct move for each sort of peril in the scenes. So you had to decide very quickly what you were supposed to do whenever that peril presented itself. So if it's a monster, you may attack it with the sword, which is usually the case, or move away. So that was the thing. So if you did the right thing, the scene would continue to the next peril and whatever, and then you would have to figure out what to do for that part. So, but then, if you did the wrong thing, it would cut to a death scene. So Sean was really fascinated by this whole thing. A lot of people don't like Dragon's Lair and Dragon's Lair type games because the gameplay is kind of limited, but the animation is really good, and it really gives you the feeling that you're on some epic quest to save the princess from the clutches of an evil dragon. So, anyway, Sean loved it, and he even dressed up as Dirk Daring, the hero of Dragon's Lair that Halloween. But beyond that, he really wanted to do his own sort of take on Dragon's Lair. Thus, a fantasy adventure was born. Now, a fantasy adventure is essentially his take on Dragon's Lair. Now, his mother saw this film, and instead it basically entailed him jumping all over the furniture. She just was not able to engage her imagination. So what you need to do when you watch this film is set your imagination into overdrive. Just let it run free. So, damn it, text. That silly is just going right through me. Okay, so set your imagination into overdrive and just pretend that the hero of this story, who is apparently nameless, just pretend it's you. It's you, the daring, whatever your name is. Okay, if you're a guy or girl, it doesn't matter, but it'd probably work better if you're a guy. So, okay, he is on this epic quest. In this case, Sean didn't really know any girls. So instead of rescuing a princess, he's just on a quest to get treasure from the castle and avoid various perils. So what you want to do is just pretend that he's inside a castle, and that everything you see is various rooms of the castle. So just use your imagination. It's not unlike playing a role-playing game or something, except you actually have visual clues here. So when you see him jumping on the furniture, he's not jumping on the furniture. He's like jumping over a precipice or something, or onto a drawbridge, or, you know, whatever. Just use your imagination. Oh, and you're going to see green swirly things at some point. You may be wondering what those are supposed to be. Fans of Dragon's Lair will get this right away, but I'll tell you anyway. Basically, those are whirlpools. So, the green swirly things, they're whirlpools. So you just pretend that it's in a big lake of green water and those are whirlpools in it. The other thing I should mention is some of the scenes are the so-called success and other scenes are the so-called failure. So some scenes you'll see him get out and win that room. Other scenes you'll see him apparently get killed by something. So don't worry about it. He was basically just trying to play through like as if it was somebody playing the game and they were succeeding at some levels but failing dismally at others. So that was sort of the idea. Because the way the arcade game would work, if you failed at one of the rooms of the castle, it wouldn't put you in the same room. It would put you in a different room. So it would kind of randomize it. So that was sort of the idea, was that it was like a randomized version of it. But yeah. So without any further ado, a fantasy adventure starring Sean McLean as you.
A fantasy adventure.
Better be careful. Yeah, got him. Whew, that was lucky. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Carefully. Yeah. A minefield? This looks like trouble. Carefully. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Oh. Bottomless pits. Whoa. 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 Oh. Make sure no one's here. Okay. Whoop. Get nice and clean. Pretty good job. Put it in a safe place. Better put it in my pocket. That one has another crystal in it. Better get out of here. Anyone see me? Nope.
The end.
was awesome. I love that. I so wish that somehow they could actually turn that into an actual Laserdisc game. Like, that would just be awesome. Can you imagine actually being able to play that as a Dragon's Lair style game? How cool would that be? Okay, so next up, I actually have a pretty cool little treat for you. You may have noticed that A Fantasy Adventure was pretty lengthy as far as these Super 8 movie films go. Most of them are only like, 30 seconds to a minute long. But this one was like almost 5 minutes long, which meant that originally he used almost the whole 2 reels of Super 8 movie film to do this. I mean, this was, big budget, $40 production just for the film. So, anyway, there's a bunch of little outtakes, as most of the outtakes are, as I'm sure you've noticed over the course of the previous episodes. Most of the outtakes are just kind of little snippets where he started the camera too soon, or there's a shot where he fell through the pit and landed on the floor, and when he did this sort of leap onto the floor, there was a few seconds of footage where you could see his foot just as he was getting ready to leap, so you'll get to see that. But another thing I need to give a little bit of background information about. I know that this episode is running really long. Just call it a deluxe episode and we'll leave it at that. Now, when he originally did 4 series, he did it as essentially about a 12-minute compilation, which he put onto a reel of film. It looked, actually, this is probably the original reel right here. It looked like this. Now, a reel of this size can hold roughly 12 minutes worth of footage, so about 4 cartridges worth of Super 8 film. But then after a while, he wanted to sort of put everything together into one big massive compilation. So what he did was he attached everything together that he had done and called it Assorted Goodies. So in that case, what he did, this one's down here. Yeah, here we go. Assorted Goodies with Sean McLean and David Ball, who you may recall from, The Adventures of Pearson's Secret and the breakdance instructional video which Sean posted eons ago. Anyway, so Assorted Goodies, this is the actual reel of film here. You take it out. Look at the size. Look at the size of this reel. Now this is about double the length. And how you can tell how much you could fit on a single reel, it gives you the footage. I don't know how. Anyway, it gives you the footage marker there, so you can determine how much running time there would be based on how much footage there was. That's why they call things footage, by the way. It comes from the days of film, because you would determine the running time by the frame rate and how many actual feet of film you were using. So that way you could figure out how long a film was going to be. So this was the original reel, and then this was the second reel they put on. Okay, this one actually has a bunch of stuff on it. So this is Assorted Goodies. So this has everything from the original 4 series plus a whole bunch of other stuff that he did. I don't think A Fantasy Adventure was actually going to be part of 4 series. It was a separate thing, but he incorporated into Assorted Goodies. And then this is Assorted Goodies Part 2. So essentially it's a compilation of whatever was left over. And then finally he has another reel here. This is all Fright Night. As you can see, he meant Fright Night to be much longer, but alas, never completed it. So anyway, the reason I mention Assorted Goodies is because Sean was not one to waste footage. No. So what he did when he put together the Assorted Goodies compilation was he wanted to use as much material as he had. So one of the things he had was a fairly lengthy outtake from A Fantasy Adventure. And you're going to see that in this compilation of outtakes. But the reason it's special is because he found a use for it. And what he did was, it was actually an outtake from the bridge over the whirlpool scene. Apparently the lights weren't bright enough, or something was set wrong, and you couldn't see what was going on too much. So, being the consummate showman that he is, Sean just ran with it, and he took that bogus, crappy footage and turned it into a makeshift intro for Assorted Goodies, which now appears at the beginning of that big massive reel of film. So there you go. So let's take a look at the outtakes. So first you'll see the snippets that are from the bits and pieces left over from Fantasy Adventure, and then we'll see the lengthier outtake which became the intro for Assorted Goodies, and I'll come back on after for final words.
Welcome to part 1 of our 2-part mini-series, Assorted Goodies. Those shadows you see moving in the background is one of our actors warming up. Although this program is meant for family viewing, portions of it may not be suitable for younger viewers. Parental guidance is advised. Now I'm proud to present Assorted Goodies.
Well, folks, that's it for me. That's all the ones that Tex wanted me to talk about. So I guess next time you'll see Tex back here. Alright, so thanks for watching the Movie Shack and putting up with your buddy here, Bill Snerd. And I'll see you again soon. So I'll see you guys at the San Diego Comic Con next time, because hey, I live in San Diego. Why do you think I live in San Diego? Yeah, duh. Alright, so stay geeky, everybody, because geeks rule the world. Bye. Bill. Hey, Tex. Bill. You're my cousin, you know, and I love you like a brother. Aww. But I gotta tell you, from the bottom of my heart, you are never, ever gonna get laid. Are you serious? Wait, just last week I had the most amazing cyber with an elf warrior maiden, no less. Wrong answer, Bill. Wrong answer. Scoff all you like, my good man, but elf chicks are hot.